What's up? We're back. I have better lighting this time, so hopefully I won't look like a fucking cherry. I noticed that in the YouTube version because, like, the way it looked on my end, I was a little red, but I was like, it's not that bad.
It's still a
And then I
little
saw the
orange.
you. I'd rather. Well, I think the orange is probably because of my beard.
Can you change like the lighting style? Does it have like a little black thing on it, like on the wire
uh,
connecting it?
I can change like the tones of it.
Yeah, change it to like the whitest tone you have. There you go.
Wait, the
Whatever
one
that.
before
Yeah, that
that
one.
one.
Yeah, that one's
Okay,
fine.
all right, that's as bright as it can go. But yeah, I upgraded, so hopefully I won't look fucking god awful. But this episode of the podcast, instead of pro wrestling, we're gonna be talking about some news that came out today, specifically about NBA 2K23. Now the notes I pretty much just copied straight from an article, and that resulted in 3 pages of notes. So the article went a lot more in depth than I was expecting. Plus, I also have like the snippets of the article pulled up from the group chat as well. But starting out, one of the key tagline, I guess, for this year was the fact that they said they wanted to expand the tools for slashers, which the article following that pretty much just talked about better dunk control is pretty much the gist of that part.
Yeah, I mean, even the way I understood it was, even with um like 2K currently, all they have in 2K currently is if you're a slasher, you can press the right, like the right stick. If the ball is in your left hand and you flick it to the right, you can bring the ball across to dunk with your right. If it's in your left hand, you will just go up with your left hand on the same side. And if it is in, or if you're holding the stick straight forward, you get your regular two hand safe dunks. And if it is or if you pull the stick backwards, you get your flashy dunks. So they changed it this year so that they have expanded it more so that you can do your hanging dunks now with it. So if you combination flick the stick like left right or like down right, you can flick or you can get a right hand safe dunk and hang on the rim. So that way it avoids you getting flashy dunks that you didn't want, or you avoid getting, how they have like the Jordan Kilgannon package, how you get like
Mm,
the scorpion dunk where he'll throw his arm behind his back and dunk the ball from behind. You avoid getting all that stuff and you just get the regular dunk packages.
yeah. But that also means if you got a controller with a faulty fucking right stick, replace that now
Yeah, you might want to
if you're a
replace
slasher
that
type.
immediately because if you're a slasher, you are going to be struggling this year. That is for sure.
Which they also added in the little thing where you can dictate how long you hang on to the rim. Um, which I'm sure is just gonna make stuff like Pro Am and Rec even less toxic.
Oh yeah.
But also I guess this is only a thing for like if you're doing My League or online quick play or doing the My Career games, you will get a foul called on you for hanging too long.
Oh, so they actually added technicals into the game.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, they
I
actually
have
added that in to where you will get called for a technical if you hang from the rim for too long.
I'm excited for that part of it.
You know, I say that's just a nice little detail that can end up going overlooked, but can end up being pretty much appreciated. Because I also hope that also means that there's a chance the CPU will get called for it as well.
Yeah, but
I don't know how
I
that
think
would be
it's
dictated.
but you know how with 2K, like 2K, they'll probably never actually give it to a
Yeah,
CP or a CPU. A CPU will never get it
like
because
how
it's
they
never happened.
added in the ability to challenge and literally just made like one brief mention of it, and I was the only one in the group who remembered you could challenge.
Yeah.
um, but now to switch over from the slashing, they also tweaked shooting a little bit. On Mike Wang's Twitter, uh he and the 2K page both put out a tweet where it's essentially just a massive chart showing all the different attributes that the signature jump shots have. Mike Wang said where in the past the signature jump shots were kind of just an aesthetic thing, now they actually do coincide of how well your person will be able to
Yeah.
shoot.
So
Uh,
on past 2Ks, it's always been that the base is what determines your green window on your jumper. And so the releases, how release 1 and release 2 were, they were just aesthetic for how you liked your jump shot to look. So if you wanted to shoot like Lonzo Ball, you would equip Lonzo Ball and shoot from the side, but you would still be able to green because you would have Steph Curry's base, so you would have the same green window as using Steph Curry's regular jump shot.
yeah. Whereas now they've changed it to where um so like now starting with 2K23, if you're a guard who likes using Larry Bird's jump shot, well you can't do that anymore. It's for bigs and swings only.
Yeah.
And even then you need a 90. They kept the rating requirement for the jump shots as they have in the past, but they also added four things: release height, release speed, timing impact, and defensive immunity. So for example, Steph Curry, he has a release height grade of B, a release speed of C, a timing impact of A plus, and a defensive immunity of A. So while Steph is still going to have one of the harder jump shots to guard, it's not going to be as easy to green anymore.
I I don't I don't think that's the way it goes. I think the release speed is just how fast he gets to the green window. So like the it's still going to be like one of like the easiest jump shots, and if you mix it with the jump shot creator, so like if your player has a 96-3, you can easily just mix Steph Curry and Trey Young now, and now you have a Steph Curry base with the ability to get the shot off fast like Trey Young now.
Well, the reason I say that is because they went a little in depth in the article about those four things. Shot speed, obviously how quick shot reaches the green. The release height, how high the shot release is once it's at its apex. Um, the defensive immunity is how effective the shot is against contests. And the timing impact, they made it to where it adjusts shot windows to reward better timing, but it'll be an even steeper penalty for bad timing. So that tells me now that that should mean that earlys and lates should have virtually no chance of going in.
Oh yeah, there's it's it. You might as well just guarantee early and late as air balls if that's the case.
Yeah,
So you really have to, as a shooter, you really have to know your jump shot now. And with
because
with them doing the changing the jump shots this way, now nobody's really gonna know their jump shot unless they get 2K early or they're a creator or something, and so they spend
yeah,
those 3 days just working on jumpers and trying to figure out their jumpers and their speeds and things like that. So you're not going to be a good shooter until midway, or not midway through like the game, but midway through the first season. That's the
I would
only
say
way you're going to
it's
be
gonna
to be a good
take
shooter.
at least the first season for people to really know the jump
Unless you
shot
just
that they
unless
prefer.
you just never put 2K down, and if you never put 2K down, you
Yeah.
might as well just be fucking
Which
lost.
they introduced the timing impact this past year, but it didn't really work
Yeah,
because of how OP some of the badges were where they would counteract it.
sniper.
Like sniper. Um Along with all of that, they also introduced a new shot meter. They changed the way it filled. They in the article it said it went back to the way it would build up from 2K17 to 2K20.
Hey
Um
Joe, did you saw the video that I sent in the group chat, right? It
yes. Yeah.
looks it doesn't look like it like to a T, but the way that it's designed, it looks like it's going to be like an NBA Live meter. Like
Yeah.
if like the first, or that at least the first one did, the first one that James Harden shot, it
I would
looked
say the first one and then that straight just vertical
yeah,
meter
it
that they
looks
added.
it looks like an NBA Live style meter. But you're, instead of how on Live the green window would disappear if you got a contested 3-point shot or something like that, it it stays there, but it gradually gets. It looks like it's going to get smaller as you get contested.
Yeah.
So if the defensive badges stay the same in the game, then badges like menace and badges like intimidator and things like that are going to be, or even badges like off ball pest. Like if you can get to like the shooter fast, it's going to be virtually hell
Yeah.
for shooters this year.
Which they also that makes me wonder because ideally that should mean that even if a 75 overall has like at least three really good badges on silver because their 3-point rating isn't that great, they still it's going to be 50-50 if they even green it.
Oh yeah,
Let alone making it off of a white.
yeah.
But the new dribbling stamina bar also makes me wonder how that's going to come into play.
I think uh, I think that what they're trying to do is separate your stamina and your dribbling stamina. So I think
I'm pretty
eventually
sure
we're
that's
going
the
to get to
purpose it's
the
supposed to serve too.
yeah. I think eventually we're going to get to the point where your dribbling stamina and your actual stamina are going to be two different bars. Because the bar that was in the TikTok that we saw, it basically went down with like without any problem at all. And
Yeah.
so if that's like the case for especially, and that was Lonzo Ball. So
Yeah.
if and it's a good
Whose
thing that
stamina
they
should not be a problem.
yeah, and it's a good thing that they didn't actually choose somebody that is like a dominating ball handler. Like if they would have showed Kyrie and his bar was moving down that fast, it would have been an uproar. Like if they
Yeah.
showed the bar and it was like he was taking quarters like off of just between the legs, like it,
Which if that works the way it should, which I don't know if this is going to mean they're going to introduce like a second stamina attribute category or not, but if it works ideally in the way I'm sure 2K and everyone wants it to work, that is going to make slashers very difficult to defend on isolations.
oh yeah,
Because
it's
even if they just drain their entire dribbling stamina bar, well, shit, their actual stamina bar only went down like an inch.
yeah, and I
And
think
you just lost half your stamina trying to defend the fucker.
yeah, I think this is 2K's way of subtly patching the ISO play within the game. So like they're trying to limit the point guards who sit behind screens and ISO play the whole time and will left right and curry slide their way to open threes
Yeah.
because they have a big man just sitting there with brick wall holding a screen the whole time. I think
Yeah.
it's their way of trying to eliminate that. Now, my next thing is the only way that that is going to work is if they basically just nerf out handles for days. Because if they
Yeah.
nerf out handles for days, then they make it so that it's not going to happen as much. I wouldn't mind the game if they nerfed handles for days and made it so that a point guard can take a screen only a few times before they run out of stamina. Like
Yeah.
if you're an ISO point guard, then play an ISO point guard way. So like if you're going to ISO me and put me on the island by yourself.
I was
Don't
say,
have
get
your
that
big man.
fucking big man
Yeah,
out of here.
don't sit your big man at the top of the three and then you just sit there and just spam dribbles until you get the animation that you want, and then once you get that animation, you just throw a three up.
Yeah.
It eliminates the fun of the game, and it just makes it more difficult for play.
Yeah, that's why it's like, because the fishhook technique does good enough, but if you don't get the right, if you get the bad luck of the draw in the animations, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, but that's the only way that you can actually guard the play style is if you guard it like giving space and then having the defensive badges to cut it off again, and then giving space and then having the defensive badges to cut it off again. So that's
Yeah.
like the only way that you can actually guard those type of players, and that's my other thing is I don't see those kinds of players existing in 2K23 this year.
I
It's
think
going
people are. I think people are going to be very stubborn about it for at least the first season or
Yeah, the
two.
first season, people are going to try to do it again. Like there's going to be 5'8s like
But
out in season 1. But
after 21, and I will give Mike Wang and the 2K team credit to this, they showed that they are no longer willing to just cave to constant sweat bitching.
yeah. And so I think that the 5'8 style is going to die off in season 1
Thank
because
fucking God.
there's no way it stays because the only thing that was carrying it for so long was the ability to make a small point guard that had a lot of speed and a high three ball. So if you have that, then your shooting ability is determined off of your um, the defensive immunity of your shot now. And with
Yeah.
the high three ball, you get a Steph Curry shot and a Trae Young shot that gives you the release speed and it gives you the defensive immunity of your jump shot. But then that doesn't account for the other players' badges and the other players' ability to actually contest the shot. Because I think that the contest system is still going to be the same as 22. Like you're
Yeah.
still going to be able to contest shots and get really good contests with a low percentage of coverage and still make people miss shots.
I
So
saw a few people on Twitter saying where they were like, they wish at least for like just park runs, not pro am or rec, but for park runs, it would show you like the top badges your matchup has instead
yeah,
of like win percentage, games played, stuff like that.
I would love that. I
I would
would
say
love
I
that.
think that'd be really cool
I would love
because
to have not necessarily have the ability to just see
it
everybody's badges.
it make people have to game plan
Yeah,
instead of
it
just trying to cheese.
not necessarily like game plan. It would make the ability for people to hide their play style more difficult. Like
Yeah.
it would make it so that like you know how my power forward that shoots all the time, it's listed as a glass cleaning slasher. And
And then when you actually play, it's just green,
I'm
green,
shooting from
green.
half court with it greening threes all the time, but it's listed as a glass cleaning slasher because
Yeah.
that's his highest attributes is rebounding and slashing.
And
So
then that's like my fucking small forward is listed as like the small forward variation of a play shot, but it only has like an 80 ball handling.
yeah, so like it makes it so that um you can see what your matchup is actually going to do versus what its play style says it's going to do because
Yeah.
it eliminates the park sweat of of the park. Like it eliminates the people who are like, okay, he's a glass cleaning lock. So that means if he's a certain height, if I can see compared to my 6'9" player, okay, he's 7'1" and he has a short wingspan, so I know he's a shooting glass cleaning lock, so he's gonna stay in that corner the whole time. Versus okay, I see he's a glass cleaning lock. It says he's 7'2" because I know my player is 6'9", he's 7'2", and his arms are super long. So I know he's not a shooting lock. He's
Yeah.
a regular glass cleaning lockdown. So I know that I don't have to guard him when he sits in that corner, and I can help on defense. It eliminates all of that because then
Yeah.
you can see like okay, his higher badges are it says he has 3 gold shooting badges and it says he has 5 Hall of Fame defensive badges. So I know that he can shoot and he can defend really well. So I know
Yeah.
what I have and I know what I'm guarding. And it makes it so much easier for the casual park player.
Yeah. Which speaking of jump shots, Mike Wang also tweeted out in reply to someone where when it comes to custom shots you build, um in regards to how well it's gonna do, it all relies on each component that you use.
So I remember you sending that. So
Yeah.
what I took from that was that he meant that your shot rating is going to be the determining on what kind of shot you can create. So like if you have so I'm just gonna go to the shot chart real quick. So let's take uh okay, let's say you want to make you're gonna use Kobe Bryant as the base. You're gonna use release 1, Devin Booker, and release 2 Kevin Durant. You would have to have, from the way that I understood it, it looks like your highest shooting attribute would have to be a 91 because Kevin Durant has to have a 91 rating required to unlock that shot.
Yeah.
So you would have to have a 91 mid-range or 3 because it's determined off both. You would have to have a 91 mid-range or 91 three-point shot in order to unlock the Kevin Durant release and the Kevin Durant base, which is I didn't even see Chris Mullin had a jump shot. That's gonna be
So that's
fucking toxic.
to kind of branch off. First thought, I thought it was really interesting that they actually included the mid-range ability in this.
I'm
Because
not surprised because they kind of did it with the badges this year. They made it so that
well, I know that, but historically it's kind of been like for jump shots they either just base it off the 3-point rating or in the past just your overall.
Yeah.
Which they haven't done it with overall since I think like the 360 PS3 days.
Yeah.
I think they did away with that once the one in the PS4 released.
Yeah, once 2K14 and 2K15 got on next.
I think it was 15. But another thing too, don't be surprised if like the first week of 2K, anyone you play in the park, you just literally see them running down this list of people because they're probably going to see this list and go, "Oh, those are the bases we want." Just to rattle off the list, it goes Steph, Kyrie, Steve Nash, Larry Bird, Trae Young, Chris Mullin, like Chance pointed out, Klay Thompson, Ray Allen, Kevin Durant, CJ McCollum, Kemba, Devin Booker, CP3, Michael Jordan, James Harden, Tracy McGrady, Kobe Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki, Vince Carter, Kawhi Leonard, Chris Middleton, Kevin Love, Al Horford, Jokic, Weber, Randall, LaMarcus Aldridge, Bosh, and Markieff Morris.
So, from this jump shot list, I don't know if this probably isn't even like all the jump shots in the game.
No, I think these are just the ones that worked best to use an example for what they were talking about.
Yeah. So from this jump shot list, they're all separated into size also. So like unless it's a traditional point guard, like an actual like plays the point guard, dribbles the ball point guard, that's the only way that you can get that jump shot is you're listed as a point guard. So
yeah.
So as a point guard, you can't get a Ray Allen jump shot or a Kevin Durant jump shot or Devin. You actually no, you can get Devin Booker because he's listed.
But that's the thing though. When they say like
you can't even get a Michael Jordan jump shot.
When it says small, that doesn't make me think, oh, it's restricted to guards. That's restricted to the literal height.
No, it's restricted to point guards because they use the term swings. They use actual basketball terms. So like swings and bigs swings are considered 2 to 3, and then bigs are considered 4 to 5. So if your position is a 4, so like say your position is a power forward, you're limited to the big jump shots, and if your position is shooting guard, you're limited to the swing jump shots. So if you try to make a power forward that can play the small forward position, so you make him 6'7", and you basically try to make a LeBron build because that was the way to make the LeBron build last year. You had to make him a power forward because they do small forwards so fucking dirty. Every single year they make 2K. They do small forwards fucking awful.
It's literally, I think what it is when someone looks at a small forward, they aren't thinking of someone who looks like LeBron or Melo. They're thinking of a small forward that's a similar build to Brandon Ingram and Chris Middleton.
Yes. It's been that way for years though. It's been that way since 2K18. Small forwards have been fucking awful every year. So what they do with small forwards now, because it stopped in 2K17 when they introduced the idea of like the double takeovers and being able to like mix and match like your play styles and things like that. That was when like small forwards just fell off a cliff. They made it so that you can make a shooting guard that could play small forward, or you can make a small power forward that could play small forward. That's the way the LeBron build's made. You make a power forward, up his playmaking, make him 6'8", make him the same weight as LeBron, and then up his finishing and make his shooting match and things like that, and then you end up with the LeBron build. You end up with that build. So they
But don't
made
you
it.
dare try to make a small forward that can play the 2 or the 4.
Yeah, don't make a small forward that can. Or well, a small forward that can play the 2 is okay because you just shrink his height and then you get all like the boosts of being a shooting guard.
But if you
if you
try to
make
make him a power forward,
yeah,
all those physical attributes are gonna fucking
yeah,
tank.
everything is downhill. So like the way to make a stretch 4 last year wasn't to make a power forward, it was to make a center and lower his height and wingspan so that he got the boosts of being a center and had a high rebound even though he was only 6'8" and like 225.
Yeah.
So this way, it eliminates the ability to shoot. Um, it eliminates the ability to cross over builds. So like, if you make, it doesn't necessarily like eliminate it, but it restricts it in a way so that it's somewhat denied, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So like if you make a shooting guard and you up his playmaking ability so that you can have a taller point guard to play the 1, you wouldn't be able to get Steph Curry's jumper or Kyrie Irving's jumper because you're a shooting guard. Versus you can make a tall point guard, but you wouldn't have the benefits of just making a shooting guard and making him slightly shorter.
Right.
You would have to go with the downfalls of making a point guard. And
Which
the height. Which I
meant to mention this earlier. They're getting rid of real player percentage. I actually meant to lead off with that when I started talking about the jump shot stuff, but I forgot about it. But yeah, so if you're someone who now understand, if you have bad Wi-Fi, real player percentage is really the only hope you have when it comes to jump
yeah,
shots.
real player percentage is
Because
your best friend.
for some reason, 2K they can fix the latency with lays, dunks, passing, but they have yet to fix fucking jump shot latency for someone who's lagging a shit ton.
Yeah.
But if you're just type person like a buddy of ours who just didn't want to learn the latency, you got about a month of fucking 2K22 to figure out the latency for shooting.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you better fucking make a pure slasher who has like at best a 65 mid range.
Yeah. And the easiest way to figure out your latency
Just go to that
to,
Kobe fives court and just shoot around on that.
yeah, just go to the
That's
fives
what I did.
court and shoot around and until you because that doesn't really like display latency. That just displays like your timing when you're shooting around.
Yeah.
Because the shoot around is different than actually playing in a game. But
it's closer to it though than like whereas the pro-am there's no latency to it.
Yeah, but if you're somebody who has like a buddy that plays 2K, just play a twos game. Twos isn't like twos is sweaty, yes, but you will figure out your abilities.
You say just don't look at it like I'm trying to win. Just look at
Yeah.
it like how the fuck do I solve this?
Yeah, just do it as a test thing. But another like the way that I learned to figure out my latency is to just plug your controller in. Plug your controller into your system, so that way it eliminates some.
It at least eliminates the button
latency.
delay.
Yeah, it eliminates the button delay, and that is a big part of your latency issues is the button delay and the input lag of the latency. That eliminates some of it at least.
Yeah, which another thing that wasn't really added, but is coming back after I think taking 2 years off is they brought back the lead the basket pass.
With the
in
holding Y.
Yeah, in the past, if I remember correctly, this really only worked in my career games.
Yeah.
And it was spotty in online games in the park specifically, because sometimes it would make your teammate do it by itself, and then other times, if your teammate didn't move, yeah, your dude would throw it at the basket, but he'd either be throwing a turnover or he'd be fucking just throwing it at the fucking hoop.
Yeah.
I'm
I
hoping it'll just work like if you call for a lob without your teammate throwing it to where it'll just automatically do it. Uh, but also not too much in the sense of it because there have been times where we've tried forcing each other into throwing lobs and it's just been that half-ass like
yeah
fucking animation that the game will give if you're in traffic even though you're wide open.
yeah
Um yeah,
I
the
I look for the lead pass system to just be a my career thing. I doubt it's going to work in the park just because there's the idea of a lead pass in park just doesn't really make any sense for me.
no.
Like the whole idea of the lead pass is like you hold the ball or the idea of it in last year or when they had it last was that you just hold Y and you point the stick in the direction of the person that you want and then that person will cut to the basket and then once they cut to the basket you just let go of Y and they pass the ball to them.
Yeah. It's especially going to be useless in rec with all these fuckers who love running a 3-2.
Oh yeah.
Um,
If
which
they
sadly,
incorporate it online, but
if I had to get before we move on to badges, so far, which I haven't checked 2K or Mike Wang's Twitter in about half an hour to an hour.
yeah.
But if I
Oh,
had to
and
guess,
before we get to badges, we have to talk about the layup system as well.
oh, true, true. Um, but if I had to guess, we'll be hearing more about the way I can't remember how the fuck did it go for. Did they mention the My Career story details before they broke down the city?
No, the city came first.
I was say I could have sworn, but the way I imagine it's going to be is in the coming days, probably as early as tomorrow. I think it'll be by Friday, more than likely. Um, they're probably going to break down into rec, go a little bit into pro am. 2K doesn't really. It's I think pro am starting to get treated like my league, where they don't really care about it, but because of how popular a feature it is, they're not going to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think they're eventually
Um,
they're gonna get rid of the 3v3 in pro am, which is gonna
yeah,
suck, but they're
sadly,
eventually gonna get rid of it because it's not really as competitive as their 5v5
but
is.
more than likely Friday will be them talking about the wreck, and then that following Saturday or Sunday they'll be talking about the city. Fucking hope they shrunk it, but knowing 2K, they're like, we got to go bigger, bigger, bigger.
Yeah,
Fucking within 2 years, 2K is probably going to be a 200 gig game.
yeah.
Um,
Honestly, it'll probably be the same.
but and then probably within like the next 2 weeks is when they'll actually go into detail about my career and what story they're doing with it this year. Um, I was talking to Zach about this. I would actually prefer it if they made the my career less in depth.
What do you mean by that?
Like,
Like they
it
took
doesn't really need to have a fucking dramatic ass story to it. I'm okay with them having like the music and fashion stuff in it,
I'm the
but
complete
just like,
opposite. I'm the complete opposite. I take the music and fashion away and just let it be basketball.
but
I
like,
understand like basketball is bigger than that now, but just
yeah.
let it be basketball so that
I
it's
was gonna say, if
more simple
anything,
and easy for
I know 2K and sports games don't like going backwards, but you really just got to look at like the my careers of 2K12 and 13, where it was really just like the most outside game interactions you had was the post game presses, and then when you would go in to request a trade, talk to the GM and shit like that.
yeah. I would love for that system to be brought back versus um versus adding the music and the fashion sense of things.
Yeah. Which I mean, I understand, like, a lot of people really, really do enjoy the RPG elements of it,
Yeah.
but like, it's also, they don't really let you get any full control over it. Like, this was the first year in 2K where it wasn't like, oh, you got cheated on, or like, hey, remember 2K16 when your best friend died
Yeah.
and you only got to play like 4 games in your rookie year?
Yeah. Um I would prefer if the system was just like like what it is now, like how like complex it is now, but without the side quest aspect of it. Like why do I gotta go walk a catwalk? Like, why do I need to have like a whole fashion runway show in the
Hey, I
middle of
mean,
the
to be
city?
fair though, if you were able to soldier through them, they gave a decent amount of VC, buddy.
Yeah, but like
That shit
that's
added up
yeah,
quick.
but that's my thing. Like that's why, why? Like why do I got to do that? Why do I have to go do some extracurricular ass activities to get like 30,000 VC to just fucking sit on? Like
It's also like they didn't, outside of like the Andrew Torres interviews, they didn't add anything to your character. Like they didn't change the way they interacted. Like where they had the thing where like one of the traits was like, oh, a free spirit. Well, you think that would make you like an Allen Iverson
yeah,
or like a Marshawn Lynch, to where they didn't like fucking talking to media. You didn't get to do any of that.
yeah.
So it
It
was
just
like,
changed your
so
aspects
at
and
that
changed
point,
your ability to
you're
get
literally
endorsements.
just doing it for drip.
Yeah,
It's all it was there for was, oh, if you get it to corporate 9, you can get the Nike sponsor, and then you'll be able to get this whole fucking shit. And it's just like, well, why can't you just limit that back to the fan count like it used to be?
yeah.
Because now the fan count's kind of just there for aesthetic.
Basically, just
Because,
no. It's not there for aesthetic because once you get the endorsements, you have to get to a certain level of fans before your endorsement goes up.
well, yeah, but what I was saying, but it goes back to the whole thing where it's like, even if you get the fan count, if you need like level 10 of corporate and you're only level 2 because you haven't been like purposely paying attention to that, well, then you might eventually get that fucking Nike sponsor.
Yeah, after you're a 99 overall and played 4 seasons.
I would say at that point when you're only getting on to play if anyone's on to run Pro Am Rec or Park.
Yeah,
But like, I don't know if it's not easy to be achieved before you're kind of just done by the end of the story in the first season. I don't think it needs to be there.
also, a thing that I would like is for the story to be expanded on after the first season.
I would say make it multiples, make it even just like 2.5 seasons. I'd
Yeah,
be happy with that.
make it go past your first season. Not
You know,
not
because it's
necessarily
like,
like the whole aspect of like, oh, I have to go talk to my coach to see what drills I got to do today. Like not
yeah,
that aspect of it, but extend the story to further than just
where it's like
after you win your championship or
they
after
literally
you
kind
win Rookie of the Year.
they kind of accidentally built on it this year, where it's like if you don't win MVP, perks like, I mean, yeah, they made All-Star game and they won Rookie of the Year, but they didn't win the chip and they didn't get MVP. You can build on that the next year.
Yeah, but that's it. That's
Yeah,
it. Like
that's
extend it to further than that. Extend it so that there's more to do than just fucking grind.
which, speaking of grind, I'm pretty sure, which I've seen until fucking Mike Wang or 2K actually fucking talk about it. No one's really gonna know the exact hit, but like this past year, it took like 350,000 to 400,000 total VC to get to a 99 or a
Yes.
90 at least.
Yeah. No, it's a good amount.
Um,
It takes if you have the rebirth perk, so you can make a 90 overall. It takes 200 and like anywhere from 210 to like 225 to actually get the 90 overall.
yeah, but I've seen, I don't know how many people at this point. It seems like I see 10 more TikToks about it the closer and closer we get to release day, where there are people who is like, oh, it's gonna stay the same. They're actually gonna decrease it. They're increasing a little bit. I saw one dude where it was like it's gonna cost like 800,000. And
I will have
everyone
to
was
join
like,
some 2K
yeah,
live.
if 2K is gonna do that, they better lower the fucking VC bundle prices.
Yeah. I
Which
will
they,
not be
in
joining
honest to
2K.
God, they probably would.
They would. They would. Cuz you're buying 100 either way. You're
Yeah.
spending 100 either way. So why would
Which
they
at that
not
point,
lower it so that
a
you
lot of
can spend?
people give 2K shit for it being, quote, pay to win. But think about it. If you're someone who works a full-time Monday through Friday 9 to 5, you aren't gonna have time to grind.
No.
You would get pissed if 2K didn't offer you the ability to buy VC.
Yeah.
So it's like, I always give 2K slack on that because it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for them.
It's if you didn't, you would have the people that complain about not wanting to
Yeah.
grind all the way. But if you did, you would have the people complaining that they didn't want to spend the money on the game.
Yeah. So there's really no way to combat that. Because then people are like, we'll just make it easier to hit the cap. Well, the issue with that is how many of y'all would get fucking bored if by after 2 weeks you're already a fucking 95
Yeah.
and you didn't ever have to just go, fuck it, I don't got time for this. Let me just get like the fucking 15,000 VC pack just as a quick little pick me up.
It's it's a weird thing because there is the whole like grinding aspect of it, but like on current gen the grind isn't even there. Like they just glitch it so that you get like 200,000 my points and you play like 4 games and you're already at like a 97 cap. Like that's just a current gen glitch. But
I would say, fucking next gen, something like that pops up. They got it patched within the next half hour.
Yeah, it's patched within 20 minutes and your player is deleted because you glitched the game. But the grind for next gen isn't as strenuous as it is made out to be.
No.
Like
once you get past an 80, it's a breeze.
Yeah, once you get like your main thing that you do, like if you're a shooter, once you get your shooting to like an 85, you just have it and you go from there and you just grind it out. But it may be like the grind this year maybe takes like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Like 10, 11 days before you're like a 94 and you're like completely like maxed out badges and shit, but
which, given the average age of 2K's player base, I feel like most of the bitching about the grind would disappear if 2K was a summer vacation release.
Yeah. They can't be a summer vacation release.
Well, they can't because you got to keep it close to the actual season.
Yeah.
You're right.
Not only that, they have to give.
Got to combat EA.
Not that, but they have to have their own like time.
Yeah.
Like the process of
once
putting the rookies in the game, having the rookies in the game, and having the entirety of free agency figured out and things like that.
Well, it's also like
process
leading up to 2K18 when they officially made September 9th 2K Day within the company. I was like, that date's never getting fucking changed now.
Yeah.
If they're behind schedule and the game is bugged to hell, well, guess what, people? You got to put up those bugs for about 2 fucking months.
Yeah, until
before they can put out a big patch.
Yeah, until the big patch comes out, and 9 times out of 10 they'll have the big patch out in a week and a half.
Yeah,
so you're really just grinding the game with the glitches and shit. And then after a week and a half, you get the patches and you're done.
And even then, it's like people complain about the fucking glitches when it's fucking them over in online games, but they don't speak up because of the fact that like, oh, you're only playing on Pro, but this glitch is for some reason giving you the amount of VC you'd get on Hall of Fame.
Yeah, or they'll complain about the fucking patch that comes out. Like with 21, they had it so that the Curry slide didn't work the same way it did in 20, and so you had to you had to fix your dribbling so that you could dribble faster, and you didn't get the right animations from the Curry slide. And so they complained about it until the patch came out that fixed the Curry slide so that you got the animations. And then the whole fucking community complained about fucking getting broken down by Curry slide and Curry slide being broken. And now it's still in the fucking game and it's still fucking broken.
It's so long. This is like why I make the joke all the time when we're playing 2K, like Steph Curry ruined the NBA in 2K. Because, I mean, incidentally, he did.
Yeah.
He didn't ruin the NBA. I don't believe that at all. I just say that as a joke. But 2K, he fucking ruined it. Because now everyone, like literally when they're making a guard, you don't ever see a Kyrie build. You don't see a fucking Harden build. It's always Steph.
Yeah, it's always...
if they make a build and it can't do what Steph can do, they immediately scrap it and go back to the builder and start over.
That's where it's not Steph Curry's fault, but the idea of the 5'8" play shot is stemmed from the ability to play like Trae Young and Steph Curry. Hit the screen, hit that screen, hit the screen, hit the screen, hit the screen, hit the screen, roll off, throw up a three.
Yep.
That's where that whole idea just stemmed from, and so um, it created this idea that in order to be comp within 2K, you have to have this point guard that can come off the screen, hit this wild ass fucking three, and he carries the team. He averages
But what's
35.
crazy is they will have these builds and never step foot in rec or pro-am 5s.
No, they'll just sit in the park.
They keep it in pro-am. They keep it in pro-am 3s or the park, but they won't bring that fucking build into the 5s.
Or what you see is if that build actually comes to the rec, they play a zone and he's in the far right corner, away from where the ball handler is going to come up, because he has zero defense. He can't play.
So defense. He don't get exposed.
Yes, he can't play defense. So all you have to do is you crowd his corner. Once you crowd his corner, the other person will come to help. And then if you have a stretch big or if you have a power forward that can shoot, the power forward goes down, drags the big man up, and he comes out to the right wing. So you crowd his corner, and you either get the cut inside or you get the open three on the wing. That's wide open.
Anyone who ends up listening to this, I hope you took notes through this past 30 minutes, because Chance is giving you the 2K fucking
2K
guide.
It's such an easy game. It's not an easy game in the sense of it's
not easy on your mental health.
It's easy on your mental health unless you're super competitive. And if you're super competitive, then you just play competitively. You think competitively. If you have to guard one of these point guards, like these 5'8", super fast, super dribbling point guards, you literally just crowd him. Don't call a double team. Don't come to help. Don't do nothing. You crowd him while he's dribbling. You do not move that left stick. You do not flick right stick towards him. Nothing. While he is standing there dribbling, you stay in front of him holding left trigger. Do not move.
That's honestly one of my biggest peeves about 2K, because Zach and Vigo do it too, but I've also had it happen with randoms, right? If I'm not visibly getting broken down in an ISO, why the fuck are you coming to help?
Yeah.
Stay on your fucking man. Stop getting reach happy.
Yeah.
Stop fucking resetting the damn shot clock to 14. Stay on your fucking dude. If I'm getting broken down and I'm over pursuing help, then by all means, get your ass over here. I need help.
Zach is better about it than Vigo is, because Vigo will 100% leave his man to come double. Zach will
put this into perspective,
drives that side, and then he'll reach.
In our group, we have a made-up fucking thing. Me and Chance no longer have our Y buttons, and Vigo doesn't have an X button anymore. Because me and Chance had a string of a week in a row where we were getting chase down blocks and everything in Pro-Am, and our brains went, all that Y button discipline you both have learned is out the fucking window.
All we do is run down and spam Y. So if you ever come across us in the Pro-Am or the rec, all you gotta do is drive in and pump it.
Our gamer is fucking Fredo Puma and Hat Hokage. If you see us and you drive and pump fake, you got an easy shot, because we're gonna try to chase down this shit.
That's an easy layup, because we are going to chase down and we are going to keep pressing Y until that ball goes the fuck up.
No, and we both don't have pogo stick either.
Nope, no pogo stick in fucking sight.
But yeah, I'm really hoping that, because I don't ever think 2K should have a fucking position meta. Playstyle, I understand, but position meta, I don't think should fucking exist.
The NBA is trending towards the idea of being completely positionless. But for 2K, it cannot afford to be positionless.
Nope.
Because if you are a positionless player, that means you have the ability to do a little bit of everything. And you can't, that physically cannot exist in 2K. Because if it does, it will break the fucking game. Imagine,
Well, fuck,
Joe,
that's happened to
imagine,
us. That's happened to us a few times. Wherever me and you in pro-am games, if there's a pro-am game where me and Chance midway through the game already have like 5 points, 4 boards, and 3 assists, we know we're winning with ease.
yeah, because the idea of a positionless player within 2K would completely destroy the game. And there is such a thing as being a there is a thing as like a positionless guard. So like you can have a guard that can play the point guard, the two guard, and the small forward because they can pass, they have a decent rebound, they can shoot the ball, and they can finish inside. But to say that it is completely positionless, that means you can have a 7 foot center play the point guard and be perfectly okay.
And still have up to 15 shooting badges at least.
Yeah, and have an 85 plus three, and be able to be and have an 85 plus ball handle, and still
Yeah.
have a 90 defensive rebound, a 90 offensive rebound, 90 perimeter, 90 interior. Like the idea of a positionless player within 2K would completely break the game. Because Joe, imagine I want you to imagine you load into the pro am and you see a 7 foot player at the one position. He's guarding fucking Zach. He's guarding
Oh,
Zach.
I'm telling us to
There's
fucking
three of
close
them.
that.
There's
I'm
three of
telling us
them,
to close
and
that.
it's guarding Zach.
I'm telling us to close that. I
Yeah,
ain't dealing with that shit.
yeah. You wouldn't want to deal with it. But the NBA is trending towards a positionless basketball style. But 2K can't monopolize on that because if they did, they would lose so much profit from people not wanting to play the game.
Yeah.
That literally would be like loading into like my league and making your own fucking player and player locking with him and him
Putting
being 99
every
overall.
on off.
Yeah, putting every badge on Hall of Fame, spark plug, fucking on-court coach, gym rat, all that shit. You just got it all fucking jump. And you were a 99 overall for the rest of the goddamn game.
Yeah.
It would completely just destroy the game.
Yeah, no, but like you said this in the group chat earlier, more than likely this is gonna go back to just guards being like bigger, not necessarily Ben Simmons height, but like 6'4" to 6'6".
Yeah, we're going. It's trending back away from this. The the difficulty or the defensive immunity for jump shots and the revamping of defense for 2K23, along with the changes to like the jump shot creator and things like that. This is shying away from the 5'8" point guards because
Yeah.
now you can't make a 5'8" point guard and expect to be able to get open on shots anymore. And
Yeah.
now with seeing the video of the stamina bar, like the dribbling stamina bar and the like the movement styles that fucking Lonzo Ball had,
Mhm.
like his movement style while he was dribbling, you're not going to be able to get open the same way you were getting open in 22.
Yeah.
Like
All right.
I honestly
So
wouldn't mind going back to the builder of 17. Like where you have like a specific style, but you can still like branch off and still do other things to a certain extent. Just
yeah.
not the same way like you can now.
All right. So badge time now. Um, from what I got from the article, there was it's a lot more reworking of badges and a few removals. I'm sure if they have any brand new badges that fucking Ronnie's gonna announce them himself like he did with last year or this past game. But starting out with uh finishing, um also did I mention that bullet passer was removed?
I saw where you sent it, but you didn't
I know
say
I
it.
said it in the group chat, but did I mention it like during the pod?
No.
Have I mentioned that already? Okay, well, bullet passer got removed. Which and now it's going to be entirely dependent on just your pass accuracy rating,
I
which
I 100% like that.
I would say I'm in favor of that. There's no reason that should have been a fucking badge to begin with.
I think that bullet passer is a good badge, but the ability to get it as easy as you can this year is what makes the badge shitty. Like
Yeah.
the ability to just get like a 75 or an 80 pass accuracy and be able to get bullet passer on gold is fucking ridiculous.
But starting with the finishing badges, Slithery finisher was just changed to Slithery, and it pretty much stays the same. Just makes it easier for you to be able to gather and finish through traffic. Um, no real changes to that. Uh, but I imagine that with how well Slithery finisher worked this past year, they might tweak a badge to be able to counter it. I don't know because while it worked good, it wasn't like it was overpowered per se.
Yeah. It
Because
just
you're a
made it
prime
so
example
easy.
of that. Your power forward has Slithery finisher on gold, and we've still seen you get stood up at the fucking rim by a
Yeah.
paid beast.
Yeah. With fucking
um,
Intimidator.
After that, we got Masher, which increases the ability to finish inside lays over defender. Um, Now, I don't know if that replaces Giant Slayer or not, because the article did not mention a player size.
Wait, what? I missed that entire thing. I completely zoned out.
Uh, the badge was called Masher, and it increases the ability to finish inside lays over defenders. And I said I don't know if that's replacing Giant Slayer because the
It
article made no mention of how big the
that
defender
badge
has to
just
be or the size of your player.
that badge just sounds like Giant Slayer.
I mean, it does, which never know. Fucking 2K sometimes makes a very questionable decision when it comes to badges. They've
Yeah.
had badges that are clones of each other in the past.
Yeah.
Following that, we got Bully, the ability to finish strong by bulldozing through traffic. In the description of the badge, it literally said, "Be like Braun or Giannis." So, again, slashers. That's gonna be on every fucking slasher build.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bully is going to be on everybody's build. If you
Um,
have a slasher and you don't put bully on, you're tweaking.
you deserve whatever's coming to you at that point. uh, and the only finishing badge that was removed was Hook Specialist. So if you're the type of big, which I have not encountered a single fucking one yet, but if you're the type of big who liked
The
getting
park
a
big men.
boost to hook shots,
Park big men.
then you shit out of luck. Uh, On to shooting. There is starting off. There's Agent 3 hit difficult shots off the dribble. It's basically just Chef, but I guess improved. Uh, because Chef was one of the shooting badges taken out. Um, Following that, there is Midi Magician, ability to down mid-range jumpers off bounce or out of the post. The description for that actually even said like Michael. So
Okay, so that's basically Fade Ace.
it's
That's what
it's
I'm
Fade
understanding.
Ace, but
It's Fade
improved.
Ace. It's Fade Ace and difficult shots together.
Basically, yeah.
That's what I'm getting from that. So like if you do like the how like the post fade like shimmies or whatever, how you can like do the, like the fade the like shimmy and then you can like fade with it. I think
Yeah.
that's what that's for.
What was that? Amped reduces shooting penalties when fatigued or moving excessively.
Okay, so Tyler Shooter.
That's
That's
that's going to be the badge that tries to keep these little 5'8" fuckers around.
yeah. That's tireless shooter.
Yep.
That's already a badge. They just changed the name of it and made it a different badge. But if they put that badge and tireless shooter into the game, that's gonna be fucking stupid because it's the same badge.
Like I said, it fucking better not, but you never know. Following that, we got one. This was it this one? Yeah, this was the one that when I was writing the notes, I said, "Oh, this is the Klay Thompson badge. It's called Claymore. Increases spot up shooters' ability to hit, catch, and shoot jumpers the longer they remain stationary."
That's already a badge also, but I think they just changed the name so that it was for Klay Thompson. It's
I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to be too.
set shooter. Set shooter.
Yeah.
It's a set shooter badge. But
Uh,
no, that's different because set shooter is if the player like is dribbling the ball and then they stop and just stand dribbling the ball and then shoot it.
that badge I imagine is going to be one of the first few to get nerfed because that is going to be a cherry picker's best friend.
Oh yeah,
because they're
Oh
not
yeah,
going to run. If they literally don't run down on defense, that's really them standing ready to shoot for at least 20 seconds.
yeah. I can already tell you, like right now, that I'm going to make two builds. I'm gonna make a power forward that is, or I'm probably just gonna make a tall small forward that can literally do everything, and then I'm gonna make a defensive point guard, and that's my two builds that I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make a 6'6" point guard that can fucking dunk and play make.
This next one, it might be implemented in the park, but it may just be a offline or quick play online badge. Comeback kid, ability to hit perimeter jumpers when trailing in a game. Uh,
Okay,
Next
so
one,
it's that's the reverse of, or that not the reverse, but that's a badge that coincides with clutch shooter.
yeah.
Like clutch shooter is the badge that allows you to hit clutch shots when you're tied in a game.
Yeah. Following that, we got hand down, man down. Makes an outside shooter even deadlier if the opponent fails to get a hand in the face.
So what I'm hearing is everyone's going to be running at shooters with the hand up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hearing. If you're a
Yep.
shooter, they're gonna have a hand up.
And literally everyone better learn how to play defense while holding L2 and left trigger with the
Yep.
right stick pointing up.
Yep.
If you don't do that now, get used to doing it.
Yep. Get used to it.
First badge that transferred category, Space Creator. Was formerly a playmaking badge and now boosts the ability to hit step backs and hop shots, and also will cause defenders to stumble more often.
So they just made it a shooting badge?
Yep.
That's weird. Oh, so they just made it difficult shots.
Yeah.
So they just changed the name of difficult shots to Space Creator, or did they?
Well,
make
I'll
it two separate
I'll
badges?
get to that once we get to the removed badges part, because I imagine this is gonna result in you trying to wrap your fucking head around it and trying not to assume worst case scenario. But the last shooting badge that was added, old favorite, Limitless Range, returns,
Hey!
making shooters more effective with any shot attempt from a deep 3-point range.
Awesome. So I hope they get rid of Chef and Limitless Spot Up now.
I will get to that now. Removed badges: Hot Zone Hunter, Lucky 7, Mismatch Expert, Set Shooter, Sniper, Limitless Spot Up, and Chef.
So they didn't get rid of difficult shots?
If they did, the article did not include it.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Also, getting rid of Mismatch Expert? Dub. Dub,
Yep.
Mike Wang. Dub.
I'm
Dub.
a fan of that.
Dub,
I'm
Mike
a fan
Wang.
of that.
Dub. So Joe, that kills 5'8".
Mm-hmm.
That kills 5'8", because they're not going to
Kills
be able
them
to
like
shoot
hell.
over big men.
No.
5'8" are dead. 5'8" are gone. 5'8" are done.
You
5'8"
heard
are
it
done.
here first.
5'8" are done. I'm tweeting it.
Moving on to playmaking badges. First one that we got, Killer Combos. It improves the dribbler's effectiveness with size up dribble moves. Basically a combination of last year's quick chain and tight handle badges.
I meant to message you before, but I completely forgot. What was the account you were telling me about?
Oh, I forgot to add this one. I did not realize that I missed that one. Good to know. That makes me really glad I just pulled the article back up just to make sure, because I did it because I can't read my own fucking handwriting sometimes because of how bad it is. Following Killer Combos, we got Clamp Breaker. Helps ball handlers win more one-on-one body bump confrontations, the counter to clamps.
Wait. Say that again?
Clamp Breaker. Helps ball handlers win more one-on-one body bump confrontations, the counter badge to clamps.
Just thought about it. Hit me.
Okay. So what I'm imagining is how in 2K or in not live, like they have the arrow match thing.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm imagining that Clamp Breaker is gonna be like.
Listen, I'm interested in how that's gonna work, because how much space does a situation need to be for the game to recognize it as a one-on-one? Because that's another thing too.
When she said she could
Like, how much space is the ball handler going to need for that badge to even kick in?
Yeah. Wait. Which badge?
Plant breaker.
It's that I don't think it requires space. From what I
Well, no, because
understood, it's going to
it
be.
says helps ball handlers win more one-on-one.
Yeah, but it's one-on-one like contact situations. So you know how like with clamps you can hold left trigger and you will like press a player.
Oh, fair, fair,
I
yeah.
think that's what it means.
Following that, vice grip improves ball security immediately after securing a rebound, catch, or picking up the ball. A great badge for bigs. So if you're a big who constantly gets fucking X-spammed immediately after you get a rebound, that badge should help.
Every big man is going to have that badge
Yeah.
for the
You
first
fucking-
3 seasons.
You should.
For the first 3 seasons, every big man is going to have that badge.
Yeah. And now, well, actually, Chance, I misspoke. Mismatch expert was not fully taken out of the game. It's now a playmaking badge. Formerly a shooting badge, this badge now helps smaller guards break down taller defenders when mismatched one-on-one. But at least it doesn't give a shooting boost.
I'm okay with it being you're able to cross up big men easier, but I was not okay with it as a shooting boost badge because it does not make any fucking sense.
No, it does not.
For a 6-foot player to be able to shoot over a 7-foot big man and not get any penalty for it is fucking ridiculous to me.
Yeah. For the removed playmaking badges, it's bullet passer, downhill, glue hands, and stop and go. Which, with bullet passer being removed, I would have expected glue hands to go with it.
Did glue hands go?
Yeah.
Wait, so
like I said,
the badges that
the removed badges was bullet passer, downhill, glue hands, and stop and go.
I don't really know how to feel about glue hands going. I really don't know how I feel about glue hands being taken.
I'm hoping it'll just, if you just have a fucking, well, they don't really have a catch rating, do they?
No, they just have the pass accuracy.
That I guess is going to be dependent on how high the passer's pass accuracy is.
Okay.
That or it's going to be affected by bailout. Because that's really when glue hands kicked in. Because that's really when glue hands kicked in the most is when you were on the receiving end of a bailout pass.
Glue hands also kicks in on break starter passes. So like if there's a cherry picker, if the big man doesn't have a high pass rating, then there's no way he can pass to a cherry picker without glue hands.
Yeah, I don't know what they're
unless he has break starter on Hall of Fame, and in order to get break starter on Hall of Fame, he has to have a high pass accuracy.
I don't know what they're gonna do. That's just one they took out.
My hope for that is that it eliminates the cherry pick philosophy within rec.
Hopefully.
And pro-am. That's what I hope that is for, and I hope that is for the better.
Yeah. Moving on to the defensive and rebounding badges, we have Anchor, a crucial badge for the last line of defense bigs, improves the ability to block and contest shots in the paint.
Oh, okay.
That's one your power forward and center could have used.
Yes, sir. I'm probably gonna have that badge on a big man that I make. I say I'm only gonna make 2 builds every year. I end up making like 6.
You end up making like 5.
I make a whole starting 5 and a 6 man. Dog. I make a whole starting 5 and a 6 man.
Following that, we got Box Out Beast. Helps rebounders win box out battles on both offensive and defensive rebound situations.
So did that replace Box?
It's not in the removed badges. I guess it's a Box rework.
Okay.
Just has a new name.
Okay.
This next one made me laugh just because of the fucking description. Workhorse. The Pat Bev badge that boosts your ability to hustle down 50-50 balls and play hard-nosed defense without getting tired. So it's Hustler and Tireless Defender combined into one, essentially.
That is going to
Pat
be
Bev badge.
a fucking headache, dude. That is it. I can't wait to make fuck my whole small forward, power forward thing. I'm making a small forward that's literally going to be a perimeter lockdown. He is 3-and-D all the fucking way, dude. 3-and-D all
To
the
give
way.
him a Pat Bev face scan.
Pat Bev face scan. 3-and-D all the way.
After that, we got Glove, named after legendary defender Gary Payton, helps you strip players as they gather for shots and poke the ball free from ball handlers.
Oh my, yeah, 3-and-D. 3-and-D. I'm locking shooters
Then
down,
well,
dog.
this
I'm
is
locking
another
shooters
one
down.
that's going to convince you to make a 3-and-D one. Challenger improves the effectiveness of perimeter shot contests.
That's Menace. They just replaced Menace.
Yep. And then the only defensive badge that was removed was defensive leader.
Whoa, that's
Yep.
crazy. Defensive leader is actually a good badge. I'm kind of
It
sad
is.
they actually got rid of that.
And I never really saw anyone complain about it, so I don't know
I think they just removed
what
it
the
for.
process was.
I have a feeling that they removed it so that they were able to expand on the defensive badge.
Like I said,
Could you?
I'm pretty sure this article is only about badges that were removed and ones that got reworks, and it doesn't include brand new badges.
Could you imagine if they had the glove badge and the Pat Bev badge?
You know how
along
many
with-
fucking people are gonna have?
along with defensive leader, like with the boosts of defense, you wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to shoot shit. You wouldn't be able
Chance,
to get a shot
I'm
up.
expecting that no one's gonna have a high block rating outside of centers this year, and everyone's just gonna have glove and fucking that Pat Bev badge.
I'm okay with that.
That's how I'm expecting that to go.
I am okay with playing that kind of defense. I'm okay with playing that because that eliminates zones. They can't run a zone
It
with
does.
that. They can't
No.
run a zone with that. Because if you
Yeah,
if you run a
that's-
zone, then you put your two best defenders up top. So if you put
Yep.
your two best defenders up top, that means your shooters are in the left and right corner. So that makes me pass to the left and right corner.
No
Then
say,
you
and
got
you're
a
not gonna
mismatch.
have, and you're not gonna have the stamina to keep running basically fucking suicides from fucking corner to
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
But yeah, that, like I said, those were the badges that were just removed, and I'm assuming reworked, because last year, any badges that were brand new, Ronnie himself announced on his Twitter page.
23 is gonna
So-
be so much fun.
So I'm assuming they're gonna do the same with that. Just because it seems like they add like 10 to 12 new badges each year.
23 is gonna be so much fun. I can't wait for that.
Let's say, just going off of the
I'm about to
information
boot
they
up
released
2K
today,
Right after we get done recording, I'm about to boot up 2K right now.
assuming your fucking profile shit doesn't happen.
Nah, that'll be fine. All I gotta do is restart my Xbox.
But yeah, just going off the information they released today, 2K23 seems like it might be another step in the right direction, which 2K hasn't had two back-to-back solid years in a while. But it also really depends on what they do with fucking, because anytime something good comes out just about badge and shit like that, when they announce how the park and that difficulty works, people go, all right, well, that just ruined like half of the shit you announced last week.
Yeah, I don't see them changing Park at all. I honestly see them
I feel
removing.
I feel like in terms of the skill level, it's in a good spot where it's at.
Yeah.
In
But-
terms of the difficulty of shooting between park, pro-am, and rec.
Yeah. See, the park aspect is going to be different now because of the elimination of things like mismatch expert being able to boost shooting and things like that. Your smaller players aren't going to exist, so you're going to be it's going to be actually a game feel. Like it's actually going to be like a pickup game style feel instead of a sit back and watch this player do it feel.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much more fun and so much more entertaining, to say the least.
Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Luckily, this year we have like 2 new releases to keep us distracted from the month wait,
Yeah.
with Madden and Saints Row coming out in the same month.
Well, granted,
Um,
Saints Row doesn't come out until the 22nd, so
no, it comes out on the 23rd.
22nd.
The store has it listed as the 23rd when you pre-order it. At least I'm pretty sure it says 23rd.
I'm pretty sure I have it listed on the thing as the 22nd because that was what it said it would be available. Was the 22nd at 5 p.m.
Looking at it right now.
So unless I looked at it wrong, I might have looked at it wrong.
August 23rd.
Okay.
Okay, so I just gave myself a fucking heart attack, right? Because when you Google Saints Row release date, it has the OG release date of February 25th. So I thought, did they push it back the month of release? But no. But yeah, it's August 23rd.
Word. Okay, so we're straight then.
Yeah. So it's not like we'll be just sitting there like, well, we gotta find like something to play to pass the time until the 9th.
And when does Madden come out?
The 19th.
Oh hell yeah, we straight then.
So literally in a fucking business week span, those two drop.
Yeah, we straight then.
Yeah, that's all the 2K news we have for. Let me check Mike Wang's fucking Twitter before I say that, actually, so I don't end up accidentally jinxing myself. The last two tweets he put out was for post players, shimmy fades and hooks are controlled by double throws. Drop steps and post hop shots can be done by double throwing the pro stick in the same direction. And then he said, most, if not all of the returning badges have been retuned or reworked in some way. If something was OP in 22, don't assume it will be again in 23. Also, some of the weaker badges were buffed as well.
I also see that they changed the badge system in New Gen. 16 badges per attribute category, 8 in Tier 1, 4 in Tier 2, and 4 in Tier 3. So I'm assuming that's Hall of Fame.
I didn't see anything about
Hall
that.
of Fame, Gold, and Bronze. 2K tweeted it 5 hours ago.
They did?
Yeah. So I'm assuming that means that Tier 1 is Hall of Fame, Tier 2 is Gold, and Tier 3 is a Bronze-like badge. So that means you get to choose which ones are going to be in which tiers, and that also means that you have 8 over the course of 4 categories. So you have 8 for finishing, shooting, playmaking, and rebounding, and defense. So you have to choose which ones are going to be Tier 1, and which ones are going to be Tier 2, and which ones are going to be Tier 3. But that also
does that mean you won't have to grind them anymore?
Wait. It's per attribute, so you get 8 for each one. You get 8 for Tier 1, 4 for Tier 2, and 4 for Tier 3. So you get 16 per attribute category. So, like, for your finishing, you get 16 badges to choose from. For shooting, you get 16 badges. For playmaking, you get 16. And for defense, you get 16. So, does that mean that you don't have to have a certain level to get certain badges?
That's what it kind of sounds like.
But then that eliminates the point of certain badges, does it not? So like if I have, and that also
because then if you could have limitless range on Hall of Fame with like an 83.
Yeah, or you could have limitless range with no fucking shooting.
Yeah.
So does that mean that, or do I still have to have like the max attribute caps in order to put that in that tier?
Well, let's hope that the article that they linked goes into depth.
I really hope that that's the case. I really hope that means like you have to have certain badges to, or you have to have a certain attribute cap to get the badges.
I would hope. Oh, also, one thing we didn't mention was the adrenaline boosts. Which those are just the that's basically just the fancy phrase they made up for the dribbling stamina. Boosts are consumed every time you perform a hard go or explosive sprint launch.
Badges, builds, and takeovers. One of the first things everyone does when they pick up a new version of 2K is experience with building a new My Player. This year, the major goals for the My Player Builder were refinement, polish, and balance. You still have complete control to build any type of player you want, but the new builder ensures that all builds, regardless of size or specialty, are fun and balanced. The
And we'll
5v5 environment used last year to test work-in-progress player builds is also now accompanied by a 3v3 environment for new-gen players. This is especially useful if you love to hoop on the city courts. Another huge addition to the build system is that animation purchases will now be account-bound rather than specific to one save file. So, Joe, that still doesn't make sense. Because that counteracts the idea of having to have a certain attribute cap in order to use a certain jump shot. So
I imagine what that means is you just won't have to buy it again. You won't be able to use it unless you get to that certain cap. You can buy it and won't just have to buy it again, I think is what that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
The most impactful change when it comes to building players is in the form of a new badge system for new gen. When looking at telemetry from previous years, we noticed that players are often gravitated towards the same badges and as a result became a little overpowered by stacking certain badges together. This year we're moving to a tiered badge system. There are 16 badges per attribute category, 8 in Tier 1, 4 in Tier 2, and 4 in Tier 3. Tier 1 badges are the least powerful for your player but also cost the least amount of badge points. Costs go up as you climb the tiers and acquire the more impactful badges. The basic idea is that you'll need to equip a certain number of badges in the lower tiers before you can equip badges in the highest. The motive behind this change was to encourage players to make some tough choices when creating their badge recipes, make loadouts more valuable as a feature, and bring a better overall balance to the badge game in general. Along with the tiers, we're also introducing core badges, which are 4 unique badge slots, 1 in each attribute category, that can be filled with badges that don't count towards your badge points. Each badge will have a challenge requirement that, once met, will allow the badge to be placed into a core badge slot. We also made several changes to the badges, and that's the changes to the badges.
That's the thing we just went over.
So they changed it so that the badges are, you have to basically, so it's basically like 2K20. So you have to grind the badges out, technically speaking. Order, and you have to still use your attribute points to get the badges, but you can only have 16 regardless of how many attribute points you have. Okay, that makes sense now. They also changed the Takeover, apparently. Takeover, there are special abilities you can equip on your My Player that you can activate after building up your Takeover meters. Basically like getting hot in real life. While the primary and secondary Takeovers remain the same, Team Takeover has been redesigned. In the last couple of versions, a player would activate Team Takeover for the entire team and make everybody hot after filling up the primary, secondary, and then Team Takeover meters in sequential order. For NBA 2K23, Team Takeovers work as a cooperative team system with the entire team sharing a single meter. Each player on the team has an equal portion that they're responsible for filling up by performing well in the court and being good teammates. Once each player has filled up their portion of the meter, Team Takeover automatically fires off for the entire team. The new design makes a lot more sense and does a better job representing what it means to be hot as a team and to take over the game as a unit.
Bro, we're not good enough cooperatively to ever gonna get that shit.
So
we fuck up way too much.
No, I don't give a fuck about Team Take. I am okay that they did this because now
I'm okay with it too. But I'm just saying, from our group,
it just means you gotta lock in. We gotta lock in, Joe. We gotta lock in.
We average as a team in rec 15 turnovers a game.
We gotta lock the fuck in, Joe.
But I do, because now that means that one guard just can't carry the team to fucking team take.
Or a center can't get 2 blocks and 6 rebounds and have team take now.
No, I like that.
It makes it so much better. It makes so much more sense. I'm fucking hyped for that. I fucking love that, dude. Now we know if we do not get team takeover, we know who to fucking blame it on. We know whose fault it is.
All right, and then the rest of the article is just talking about the AI improvements.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the AI improvements.
Yeah, okay then. That now we fucking know. The next time someone tries to say, "Oh, this possession wasn't my fault," well, really, why the fuck did your part of the team take meter just fucking deplete?
Why did we just lose team take? Because
I wonder how that will be in terms of the HUD though.
What do you mean?
Like, how will you be able to tell whose portion is whose? Is it just gonna go is it just gonna be numbered like 1 through 5, and then whatever the position you're at is your portion? Or
I imagine it'll be split into, or everybody will have their own. Like
what if they what if they make the team take meter visible for everyone?
like it's visible for both parties. Like we can
it's
see
just
that
your
they're one
portion
person
you
away.
see.
They're one person away from team takes, and we're like, all right, we got to triple team that motherfucker. We got to triple team his ass.
Or like you just get your portion, and like let's say like just using this as an example, just in case he watches this, I'm not fucking calling you out. But like fucking Vigo just fucking gets like his 3rd team foul from reaching, and you just see his team meter go, dude.
I hope,
damn it.
I hope and pray that it is actually, it's probably going to be something like this gen or like this game, so that it's going to like be there for you, but you're not going to be able to activate it because it said it automatically activates. So it'll be like, I have team take now. Who doesn't have team take? And
who hasn't done their fucking job?
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, that part got me excited for Rec, but I also don't want to get my hopes up.
That made me so excited.
Because it's like because in the past, like take has been like, especially on, oh, you threw a bad pass, well, there goes half your team take meter. You kicked it off your foot, well, fucking reset. So like, how punishing is it gonna be for fuck ups? Because we have a hard enough time getting momentum in a fucking Rec game.
I hope and pray that this system creates a more fun aspect for Rec and 5v5 Pro-Am. So, like, this system now makes it so that instead of being like, okay, well, our center can get 2 blocks and 6 rebounds and have team take, and then our point guard with his shot and sharp take can just run down the fucking court, throw up this fucking 3, and fucking splash some shit for no fucking reason because he has a mismatch expert. I think that
it really, so long as everyone just orchestrates a run through them, you can fill it up pretty easily.
Yeah, and it also makes it so that your cooperation has to be better.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that. I love that.
Chance, what if 2K's heard our complaints this whole time we've been playing Rec?
I thank you, Mike Wang. Thank you. I pray to,
because that's really been our biggest thing, where we'll fucking chip into a lead, and then because this guard just got a steal along with those 3 straight threes he made, well, now everyone has take.
Yeah. Or because a certain shooting guard that we have decided he was going to go try and dunk on 3 people. He got blocked by the center, and now the center has 3 blocks and 10 rebounds, so he has team take for the entire team now.
Yeah, no, it'll make things more competitive, but if you're having a rough game, that party chat's gonna get so fucking toxic.
Yep. It just means that now we all have to play a part. And playing,
you literally have to chip in some way.
Now it makes it so that you can't go into a Rec with a random now. You can't play Rec with a random now because a random's not going to give a shit about that team take. You also,
and if you get an AIs don't do shit in Rec other than play defense. So you're damn sure not getting it with an AI.
Yeah. But I'm excited for it. I can't wait.
This is going to be a long month.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see the fucking...
Also, since you didn't answer, which I'm just saying this purely because the way you have treated 2K launch days in the past has always made me laugh my ass off. Are you going to be continuing your streak of just saying fuck it and calling in on launch day?
Yes, I am. Wait, what is the 9th? What is the 9th?
The 9th is a Friday? Yeah, September 9th is a Friday.
All right. Hey, Marissa, September 9th, I'm calling out of work. I'm not working September 9th. All right.
What she do? Just go, okay.
She did actually. All right.
The way I always imagine 2K Day to end this on a humorous note is always I just imagine like it's become so prevalent that jobs are like, okay, any male employees we have between this age range isn't gonna fucking be here tomorrow because they're gonna somehow get sick despite the fact I just
Yep.
saw the fuckers sprinting through the store yesterday, or they
I will
suddenly have a
be-
doctor's appointment.
I will be on at midnight, and I will not go to sleep until midnight.
So what I'm hearing is if I pre-order it like I plan to do, come midnight, you're gonna be like, get on.
Yes, Joe. How long do you have left on your download? How long
That's-
do you have left?
I'm gonna get a text that fucking like when you go into work, like that shit better be preloaded.
It better be
By the time I
fucking
get home.
pre-downloaded by the time I get home. Otherwise, I'm going to be upset. All right.
Yeah, that's it for this episode. This went a lot fucking longer than I expected it.
Joe, we have been going for an hour and 30 minutes, dog.
I was gonna say I just looked at the clock in the bottom right of my laptop and I was like, holy shit.
Yes, sir. We have been going for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's it for this episode. If 2K does another massive info dump for 23, we might do another one of these. I would say we might even do one for Madden, but Madden didn't release any information about 23 at all.
Madden
so there's
does the same thing every year. All
it'd
they
be
did
like
this
a
year
20
was-
it'd be like a 20-minute fucking thing.
I
The biggest
can
thing
give you
was
a
the
break-
changes they did they added fucking incentives to free agency.
They added a shot meter. they added a pass meter.
They added a shot meter. They added field sense, which I swear to God has been a thing just under a different name for the past 4
Yep.
years, and it never
And
works the way it's supposed
And
to.
when you go to coach suggestions and choose a play, John Madden tells you what to do.
And then fucking for the fourth one, if like you're using the fucking 49ers, Patriots, Steelers, or Cowboys, someone might want to play for you more just because you have more historic titles.
Yes, sir.
That's Madden 23 in a
Yes,
nutshell.
sir. We them boys. All right.
Where's she working now?
But that's it for this episode, and we will see y'all next time.
Peace.